We good to go, ma'am. So we are starting, sir.
Yes, yes.
राष्ट्रीय विज्ञान परिषद एवं प्रौद्योगिकी संचार हेतु राष्ट्रीय परिषद NCSTC विज्ञान और प्रौद्योगिकी विभाग भारत सरकार मध्य प्रदेश विज्ञान और प्रौद्योगिकी परिषद भोपाल द्वारा उत्प्रेरित और समर्थित VIT भोपाल विश्वविद्यालय के आयोजन राष्ट्रीय विज्ञान सप्ताह समारोह के उद्घाटन सत्र में मैं डॉक्टर शरद चंद्र त्रिपाठी आप सभी का अभिनंदन करता हूं। आज के इस उद्घाटन सत्र के मुख्य अतिथि हैं प्रोफेसर अनिल दत्तात्रेय सहस्रबुद्धे, चेयरमैन AICTE। अध्यक्षता कर रहे हैं फाउंडर एंड चांसलर VIT ग्रुप ऑफ इंस्टीट्यूशंस डॉक्टर जी विश्वनाथन सर। सम्मानित उपस्थिति है असिस्टेंट वाइस प्रेसिडेंट सुश्री कादम्बरी S विश्वनाथन एवं VIT भोपाल के कुलपति डॉक्टर P गुणाशेखरन सर की। भारतीय वाङ्मय में किसी भी कार्य के प्रारंभ में इष्ट के उपासना की परंपरा है, जिसमें हम उस सर्वशक्तिमान को के प्रति अपनी कृतज्ञता ज्ञापित करते हैं। इस क्रम में मैं तकनीकी सहायकों को ज्ञान की अधिष्ठात्री देवी मां सरस्वती की वंदना हेतु निवेदित करता हूं। मां सरस्वती की वंदना के पश्चात एक बार पुनः आप सभी का हार्दिक अभिनंदन। VIT Bhopal University is celebrating National Science Week during 22nd to 28th of February 2021 to commemorate the discovery of Raman effect by the great Indian physicist Sir C.V. Raman on 28th February 1928. अतिथि देवो भव। भारतीय परंपरा में अतिथि को देवता के समान माना गया है। स्वागत की इस क्रम में मैं VIT भोपाल विश्वविद्यालय की असिस्टेंट वाइस प्रेसिडेंट सुश्री कादम्बरी S विश्वनाथन से निवेदन करता हूं कि आज के इस कार्यक्रम में उपस्थित अतिथियों का स्वागत करें। Our assistant vice president Ms. Kadambari S. Vishwanathan is a graduate in biotechnology and has done her master's in health sciences from the prestigious Bloomberg School of Public Health at Johns Hopkins University, Baltimore, USA. Her extracurricular credentials started at an early age of 12, where she authored the biography of her grandfather and the Chancellor of VIT University, Dr. G. Vishwanathan Sir, titled by My Grandpa. She has been honored by the Limca Book of Record as the youngest biographer in India. She had the privilege of personally interacting with Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam and Dr. P. Venkataraman, the former President of India, the former Prime Minister Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee, and the President of Rwanda, Dr. Paul Kagame. These interactions have motivated her to march forward to achieve bigger and better goals in life. It is her dynamic leadership and meticulous planning of VIT Bhopal. VIT Bhopal thrives to develop as a center of excellence in higher education. May I now invite our Assistant Vice President, Ms. Kadambari S. Vishwanathan, to welcome the guests.
Respected chief guest of today's event, beloved Chancellor, Vice Chancellor, faculty colleagues, students and parents who have joined this event virtually, a warm good morning to all of you. I take pleasure in welcoming the chief guest of our function today, Dr. Anil Sahasrabudhe Sir, Chairman of AICTE. Sir, despite your busy schedule, and I know there are a lot of commitments for you during this Science and Technology Week, thank you for making time for us and visiting here. Your presence means a lot to us. We are an upcoming institution in the central part of the country where access to quality higher education is still not to the level of the national standards. And your presence here indicates not only your commitment to improving access to higher education, but also in supporting VIT group of institutions, which has been leading the engineering education in the private education sector side. Thank you for being here with us, sir. I would like to give a small brief about how this Science Week is being planned and celebrated in VIT Bhopal. As an engineering institution, of course, science and technology takes precedence, and we produce graduates who are going to be change makers in this field. But we think that our commitment to engineering is not just in bringing up new engineers, but training them to bring social change and impact in societies that do not have access to good technology. To that end, our curriculum itself has a lot of components that makes student think about in having a lot of technology inclusion. For example, we have a 2-credit project-based course called EPICS, Engineering Projects in Community Service, where third year students are asked to develop engineering solutions for community problems. So that is locally based community problems. As we are located in a rural area, our students handle a variety of engineering projects in the field of agriculture, cow husbandry, irrigation, sanitation issues. So they have a grassroots level of understanding of where technology needs to be applied, and not just where technology is used in their day-to-day life, which is usually big corporations, social media, etc. Our cybersecurity division, in fact, has been actively participating in creating social awareness for cyber space. A lot of people have come into the digital space in a very short span of time. Digital India initiative and the boom in the 4G market has brought in a lot of people into the digital space, but awareness and how to function in that space is still not prevalent. And there are many people who are below poverty line and literacy line who are engaging in social media. So we would like to bring awareness to all of them about the benefits as well as the challenges that these space provide. A lot of students have been actively working, conducting training programs, workshops, and a lot of e-engagement in bringing this awareness. And we would also like to improve our access of engineering education to rural children. So VIT has this very important scheme called STAR scheme, which means the support of rural students, technological advancement of rural students. From each district, a topper, a boy and girl, is being provided free education, boarding and lodging. Under the scheme, we have about 80 students studying in the campus who have taken engineering as well as non-engineering education in the campus. And in the past month, we have been doing a lot of skill up initiatives. This is to encourage students, school students, to take up engineering and STEM careers. So we have done robot competitions, training programs and drone development, game development programs. So we have done a lot of slew of awareness programs for school students as well. This week, we are aiming to have a e-exhibition and as well as a series of lectures, and also an inter-university quiz competition, all aimed at providing and bringing awareness in rural and poorly developed areas of the country. So your presence here is truly a blessing for us. And thank you once more for being here with us and extending the support of the government to VIT. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. We are quite privileged and fortunate to have today's chief guest, Dr. Anil Dattatreya Sahasrabuddhe, sir. Dr. Anil Sahasrabuddhe is the present chairman of All India Council for Technical Education, AICTE. Sir has graduated from BBB College of Engineering and Technology,
You
Hubli,
can
under
be
Karnataka University.
you can cut short that,
Yeah, yes, sir. At the bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering and was a gold medalist. So, sir, he's such a huge personality. He is an institution in himself. So now I'd like to call upon our today's chief guest, Dr. Anil Sahasrabuddhe, sir, for his inaugural address.
Yeah.
Please, sir.
Namaskar, good morning, Vanakkam. The Chancellor of the VIT University, Dr. G. Vishwanathan, with whom I have been having a lot of interaction through both EPSI as well as VIT itself. Dr. Kadambari Vishwanathan, who just now spoke about her experiences and what is being done in VIT Bhopal itself. Sharat Tripathi ji, who invited me to join here, and one of the persons was responsible was Dr. Sheetal Sharma. When I was very busy, she pushed me hard and said that you have to make at least half an hour available. And all other people, the deans, the heads of the department who have joined, Madhya Pradesh Science and Technology Council members. This is very exciting that on a day of 28th February, when actually the government of India celebrates, the whole India celebrates C.V. Raman's birthday as National Science Day. Prior to that 28th February, starting with today, that is 23rd February, celebrating National Science Week is a very important initiative of VIT Bhopal, and all the variety of week-long programs that VIT is going to organize, they are all worth understanding. And for this, I would like to congratulate the Vice Chancellor, Dr. Gunasekharan, who has supported in a big way. Dr. Sharad Tripathi is the coordinator, but actually backbone has to be the Vice Chancellor who is supporting such initiatives. And therefore, all the faculty of the institution who are participating in this particular program, I congratulate them. Now, coming to the Science Day or Science Week itself is concerned, quite often we hear a particular word called the scientific spirit or critical thinking, analytical ability. All of these are very, very significant and important, not only in the 21st century, which we have started listening to these words from the Western science. But if you reflect upon ourselves, that the ancient India had all of these elements embedded in our education system, be it the Gurukula system where experiential learning was at its peak, to the Takshilas and Nalandas of the world when Indian science had progressed enormously. And therefore, in this new national education policy, which has been approved by the cabinet and then is in the implementation stage, there has been a strong element of ancient Indian knowledge systems also to be part of our ancient culture and the knowledge base. And that is how, while we do also recognize that we should not be only basking in the old glory, but we should be aware of all the achievements that have been done in the ancient past. Not 2000 years, 4000, 5000 years ago, be it Ayurveda, be it astronomy, be it architecture, all starting with A, the first alphabet in English, to the botany or the environment, zoology, last word, alphabet in the dictionary in English, Susruta, plants and animals, all of them, if you look at the today's crisis in corona times, one of the nations which has been affected least is India. The reason being our immunity power has been very strong because of whether it is using tulsi, neem, and various plants which we prayed people were laughing at us. And today the whole world is recognizing the value of yoga, value of Ayurveda. All of these have become very significant. So is the case with chemistry, the material science, the construction technology. Look at the big temples, some of them 8-9 story tall and with a heavy mass of about 10 to 20 tons placed in the Gopuram. How were they able to do it in thousands of years ago? Same is the case with roads, water supply systems, water harvesting, maths. Of course, in maths, from zero to infinity, the invention started from India. The Bhaskara, the Aryabhatta, the Brahmagupta, all of them contributed immensely till recent times. Ramanujan from again the south, who created the stir in the entire mathematics world, that whatever he did during his short life, today also people are researching on that. And that is the power that ancient India had. It's not just in science and technology, but our all cultural values, ethos are embedded in scientific ways of thinking. And that's why if you look at the temples, the structure of that, how stable it could be, is all mathematics and science behind that. Similarly, all the different types of art forms, whether it is music, you take Hindustani classical or the Carnatic Sangeet, where there are all types of notes, which is nothing but acoustics or physics involved into that. The dance forms, different dance forms have the rhythm, which is all again scientific. The same is the case with Natya Shastra drama. So many a times we get bogged down by the thinking that the science has come from the West. In fact, the science has gone from the India or some of the Eastern countries like even China to the West, and then it has come back to us. And therefore, we often think that everything has come from the West. So let us be inspired by the work that was done by Dr. C.V. Raman with the limited resources. Please remember, during pre-independence era, there was hardly any resource available. He started his career from Calcutta, then came back to Bangalore in Indian Institute of Science. And the history of Indian Institute of Science is also motivational, where he had been director for quite some time, C.V. Ramanji. Please remember that it was Swami Vivekananda. We all think him as a religious leader or a social transformer, but he, while traveling from Japan to Canada in a ship, J.N. Tata was on the same ship. he was going for hunting for a steel plant from US. And while on the journey, that time there were no aircrafts, and therefore naturally the travel used to be for about 4 to 5, 6 months. And during that time, they became friends. And he said, okay, industry is important. You are going to start Tata Steel. But why not also think about an educational institution? And that's how, after return in 1903-4, an Indian Institute of Science, the first research level institution in science and technology, was started. And C.V. Raman was a director of that institution. So that means we have a rich culture of science, even in the, not in the past, but also in just around the independence struggle. Whether it is S.N. Bose or J.C. Bose, both of them created marvels. In fact, both of them deserved not one Nobel Prize but two Nobel Prizes. Well, they missed it, that's a different matter, because the kind of thing that the plants have, not only life, they do have life, we know they grow, but they have feelings like human beings, like animals. That is what was signified, and that is there in our culture. So that is why we respect all type of animals, right from mouse, which is a Ganesha's vehicle, to the peacock, the Murugan's vehicle, to cow or the bull or the swan, to the as fierce animals as lions and snakes also, we pray them, because if you have to have the maintenance of the diversity on one side and then balance in the entire eco cycle, you have to have all these animals. Otherwise, we are losing so many species year after year. Only human being, the Homo sapiens, who is so intelligent, should not be only the one who should remain. And that ethos were all embedded. Therefore, when we are celebrating Science Week, my appeal and request to VIT community is that certainly you must have sense of all of these scientific spirit or critical thinking to be embedded. हम सब लोग एक तो करना ही चाहिए, हमारे आसपास के गांवों में जाके साइंस के बारे में, विज्ञान के बारे में बताना हो, या उनको अपने यूनिवर्सिटी में लाना. बिकॉज आई नो many institutions, they have what is known as open day or open week. They invite students from small villages, schools, so that they get inspiration from out of the kind of work that is being done in the institution, and they will also get motivated, inspired to study in such institutions. And therefore, on one side, you must have certainly the open day concept, bring children from nearby villages to the university, but at the same time, how some of the innovations that they have, we know that they do jugaad, and then there are certain traditional knowledge which they possess, how we can bring it to the table into the laboratories, and we do experiments and prove why and how it acts and how it happens. Otherwise, we would have lost our patent rights on tulsi or the neem or haldi. All of that was saved thanks to our ancient wisdom. I think that is where our entire science and technology, or the Science Week when we are celebrating, you must have certainly quiz competitions, you may have essay competitions, you may conduct some laboratories where students will get excited about some of the experiments of chemistry or physics. They are very fascinating. And if we all do that, I'm sure India can really rise as a scientific power. Not only that, in the new national education policy, the support system which is there for multidisciplinary education on one side, as well as funding for research through a scheme called National Research Foundation, which is headed by none other than Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India. So directly PM's office is associated with funding. So small time funds which we used to receive for our projects today will not be a bottleneck. We will get funds as much as is required. And therefore, while developing scientific spirit and developing solutions for the society, that's important. The research need not be only to be in the form of thesis to be kept in almirahs behind our the well-decorated office rooms, but it should be not just in the libraries, but it should have great applications, and that's very important. Therefore, applied research is going to be significant, and let us all strive hard. It is not only coronavirus for which we have already found out 2 vaccines, and many more vaccines are online. We have had AICT itself conducting several hackathons, not only Smart India Hackathon within the country. Recently, we had an ASEAN India Hackathon. Earlier, we had Singapore India Hackathon. So the challenges that are there before the government, before the society, in terms of whether it is education, healthcare, agriculture, all of them have solutions. and our bright young minds, given an opportunity, they will come back to us and then give solutions which are not tested at all. So with that, I conclude, and I again congratulate VIT Bhopal, Dr. Gunasekharan, Dr. Sharat Tripathi for organizing this event, and may in the next 1 week be a celebration time for all of you. Thank you. Namaskar. Dhanyavad.
Thank you so much, sir, for your inspiring words. Definitely, we all will get motivated, and the country will lead the path what you have just shown to us. We are quite fortunate to have with us our patron, founder and chancellor of VIT institutions, Dr. G. Vishwanathan, sir, with us in this function. Dr. G. Vishwanathan is an institution by himself. He is a visionary leader who is a source of inspiration to the modern day youth. His zeal to learn took him to the Harvard Business School in 2003, nearly 4 decades after his formal university education in economics. Sir was a member of Parliament, Indian Parliament from 1967 to 1977, where he championed people's causes and emerged as a true leader of the common man. Sir also served as a minister in Tamil Nadu for 2 years. Sir founded Vellore Engineering Colleges in 1984 with a vision to offer world-class education to students who would in turn create an incredible impact to the society. Vellore Engineering College has evolved as a university with 4 campuses, which are today achieving new heights and growing into a paradigm of excellence. Now I'd like to request our patron, founder and chancellor, VIT Group of Institution, Dr. G. Vishwanathan, sir, to deliver his presidential address. Sir.
Good morning, Namaskar. The chief guest of today, Professor Anil Sahasrabuddhe, Chairman of the All India Council for Technical Education, respected Vice Chancellor, Assistant Vice President, Registrar, other professors who are participating, and officials from Government of Madhya Pradesh and students. I would like to welcome all of you for this important week, National Science Week. At the outset, let me thank the chief guest, Professor Sahasrabuddhe, for accepting our invitation to be with us. And he has made a model out of AICT, because generally we know what is a regulatory body, but he has made it a model and nobody can disturb it in the future. That's how he has become one of the pillars of supporting education in this country. No doubt, science is very important, but unless we give them the education to all the deserving children, it's going to be difficult for a developing country. India being a fast developing country, we require good education, science education for all our children. And I'm happy that the new education policy talks about doubling the present GER, gross enrollment ratio, which means that almost doubling the students who are studying in colleges and universities. I'm happy that VIT Bhopal is making very good progress, and I find the student strength is also increasing year after year. I think 4 years ago, now we are in the 4th year. 4 years ago, we started with 300 students, and now we have 4,800 students from 32 states and union territories of India, and also some foreign students. And we also take teachers from various states. We have now 133 professors from 21 states. So it's really an all India institution. I always remember the Honorable Chief Minister, Sri Shivraj Singh Chauhan, who spoke on the inaugural day. He asked the students of Madhya Pradesh, told them, hitherto you are going outside the state for studying your master's or bachelor's course. Hereafter, you need not go. VIT has come here, and you should study here. That's what the encouraging words he gave to us on the inaugural day. And we always remember that we must do our part to bring up this state of Madhya Pradesh as one among the leading states in education. As a country, we want to go up in education. And as a state, we would like to help Madhya Pradesh to come up on par with the best states like Tamil Nadu or Maharashtra. And I find a number of new subjects have been, novel subjects have been introduced, updated subjects like artificial intelligence, machine learning, cyber security, etc. in Bhopal. And that's how students are getting attracted from all over India to come and join there. And I'm happy that the university is celebrating National Science Week starting from today. And no doubt science is very, very important for a developing economy like India. And we always remember Sir C.V. Raman and others in this week. We know science should be useful for the uplifting the economy of the country and also to improve the quality of individuals. That's how science is very useful. Many of the developing countries send their children for higher education to US, Europe, etc., developed countries. When they come back, I want them to utilize their knowledge for the welfare of the people, for the welfare of the country, and the improvement of the economy. I always remember the scientists from Brazil, who is also like us as a developing country. And some of them educated in US, when they came back, they thought of something new because they were importing a lot of petroleum like us. And they said, we will produce ethanol from sugar cane and replace it it will be a replacement for petroleum products. In fact, the government was not keen. The government was not aware that it could be done. And finally, they achieved it. Almost 50% of the petrol or diesel used by vehicles was replaced by ethanol. And it is the achievement of scientists for that country. So I would very much like our scientists, our youngsters, to spend the time in agriculture, industry, and wherever they can find wealth. We can find wealth anywhere, in ocean, in mountain, in forest, everywhere there is wealth, and it should be utilized for the people because we are an ancient country. Ancient country has two, an advantage as well as a disadvantage. Advantage, our Chief Guest Sahasrabudhe mentioned that so many things we have taken lead. But the disadvantage is we have so much superstition in the country. And I find parents killing their children because of so many beliefs, superstitious beliefs. So this has to be go. That can be done only by science education. And I hope we will be able to help it. As Kadambari mentioned, we have a scheme called STAR, Support the Advancement of Rural Students, which is implemented in Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, and Bhopal, where one boy and one girl from each district, just to encourage the government schools, because we select them from government schools and give them everything free, education, boarding, and lodging. Apart from that, we are doing something in Vellore district, where we are located, the headquarters is located. We have started a scheme called Universal Higher Education Scheme. We have started a trust, UHET, Universal Higher Education Trust, where without government help, we are trying to give scholarship to all the deserving students, irrespective of caste and religion. And the last, of course, it's a general trust. I happen to be the chairman of the trust. It's a public trust, but VIT contributes almost more than 50% of its contribution, which goes to the students. We have distributed nearly 7 crores of rupees in the last 8 years. And I would like to inform our chief guests that 75% of them are first generation going to colleges and universities. So it means that there are so many people still waiting for higher education. And we are able to stop child marriages because usually if they fail in 10th or 12th, they will get married. Now we are able to support them, send them for higher education, bachelor's or master's, whatever they want, diploma or a degree, and we support them. And in that way, 66% of the beneficiaries are girls. And indirectly, we are able to stop child marriages. That's how we are able to achieve this. This is the only one district which is doing it out of 740 districts in the country. I hope others also will repeat this so that the rural children, the poor children will get to have the benefit of higher education. I am happy that VIT Bhopal is doing very well. I congratulate the Vice Chancellor, professors, all the um, teaching and non-teaching staff. Of course, Kadambari is concentrating on this, and her higher education gives her, which was had in US, helps her. And in fact, she competes with Vellore. Vellore is 36 years old, and she tries to overtake Vellore in certain respects. I'm happy about it, that the granddaughter is competing with me. I know she is very capable, and she has a very good team. We have very good 133 professors from various parts of India contributing, and I hope this university will become a model. And I am very happy that our chief guest, in spite of his busy schedule, has accepted our invitation to be with us. I thank him for the same. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your inspiring words. And we hope that VIT Bhopal will reach new heights in your leadership and support. Now I'd like to call upon Vice Chancellor, Dr. P. Gunashekaran, sir, VIT Bhopal University, for vote of thanks.
Honorable Chancellor, Dr. G.B. sir, esteemed chief guest of the inaugural function, Professor Anil Sahasrabudhe, Chairman, AICT, respected Vice President, respected Assistant Vice President, Madam, respected Trustee, Madam, and Registrar, Deans and Directors, Program Chairs, Faculty, Staff, Students, all invitees for the inaugural function of the National Science Week celebrations, and friends from media and press. Very good morning to all of you. It's my privilege to propose vote of thanks at the inaugural function of the National Science Week celebrated from today to 28th on virtual mode. And today is the inaugural function. On behalf of the management of VIT Bhopal and on my own behalf, I extend my profound thanks to Honorable Professor Dr. Anil Sahasrabudhe, Chairman, All India Council for Technical Education, for accepting our invitation to be the chief guest and delivering the inaugural address of the NSD 2021. And thanks to him for touching the few points on C.V. Raman's work, and he also touched upon the science behind the Indian population's immunity against the pandemic diseases. And he also touched upon the diversity of living organisms and their importance, and also bring down the traditional medicine research into the laboratory and give importance to the research using the traditional medicines. And we thank Chairman AICT for his valuable speech in the inaugural function. We will take it up on his directions. At this juncture, I extend my sincere thanks to our Honorable Chancellor, Dr. G. Viswanathan, founder and Chancellor of VIT University, for presiding over the function and delivering the presidential address. He highlighted the importance of the VIT Bhopal and its programs and the societal support VIT is providing. And through his vision, only these 4 campuses of VIT has been established, and for dedicating all the VIT institution to provide a quality education in the country. I could not resist my making a statement saying that he touched upon the point on the ethanol-based fuels, which is going to be important in the future, and Brazil has already taken up since I mentioned this, because that is my research area. So thanks to our Chancellor for touching upon the ethanol-based fuel, biofuel for the future energy, power alcohol, what we call it as. Sincere thanks to our respected Vice President, Sri Shankar Viswanathan, for his great effort in the establishment of the VIT Bhopal University and his successful administration. Our profound thanks to respected Assistant Vice President, Ms. Kadambari Viswanathan, for presenting the welcome address, and our sincere thanks to her for meticulous planning of the innovative program, what we call it as a future ready programs, and introducing innovative teaching learning platform, what we call it as a collaborative active learning through technology, what Caltech. It's one of the important, say, important area of teaching learning, which we introduced in VIT Bhopal. My sincere thanks to our respected trustee madam, Mrs. Ramani Balasundram, for her great caring and support to all the activities of the VIT Bhopal and providing the working environment of the VIT Bhopal. I also thank our Honorable Mr. Registrar of VIT Bhopal University, Mr. K.K. Nair, for his continuous support for running the university. I deem it my pleasure now to propose vote of thanks to and acknowledge the contributions of those who worked really hard to make the National Science Week celebration to happen in VIT Bhopal. Thanks to Dr. Sharath Tripathi for his effort to bring our AICT chairman as a chief guest for this today's function. Thanks to him. And we are going to have at least 8 eminent speakers going to speak in the National Science Week during the 1 week. Some of them I list the name: Dr. Madhulika Gunathakure from NASA, USA; Dr. Carlos Gabriel, the Casper Panel of Space Research from Germany; Dr. Devi Prasad Chowdhury from California State University, USA; Dr. Durga Prasad Tripathi from Inter-University Center for Astronomy, Pune; Dr. Abhishek Kumar Srivastava, Professor, IIT BHU; Dr. Vishal Joshi, Physical Research Laboratory in Ahmedabad; Dhananjayan Rayal from Ankur Habi Center, Ahmedabad; Dr. Chandramohan Nautiyal, Program Consultant, INSA, New Delhi. So these are the eminent speakers going to speak on the science and its applications during this Science Week. Thanks to all the invited expert speakers for readily accepting our invitation to give the lead lectures. The entire credit I mentioned, the team of people who played a major role in conducting this meeting, led by Dr. Sharath Chandra Tripathi and his team members, Dr. Pradeep Kumar Kaishap and Dr. Rajdeep Singh Payal, for their sincere effort in making this to happen. Our sincere thanks also to the Dean of the school, Dr. Harigarapati, Dean SASL, for extending record support for organizing committee to conduct this National Science Week celebration 2021. On behalf of the organizing committee, NSD 2021, I sincerely thank all the deans, directors, assistant deans, assistant directors, program chairs, all the faculty members for their great support in organizing this event. And the entire activities during this week is designed as a National Science Week, is going to be a vibrant student activity and expert lectures and participation competitions and various other activities. Thanks to all the students, faculty for their initiatives and their participation in the meeting. Our sincere thanks to our technical support team led by Dr. Satish Kumar and Mr. Murugan for arranging this event in virtual mode. I wish this entire week from 22nd to 28th February will be a memorable interaction of scientific sharing of knowledge and activities for the students and the faculty. I wish them all the great. I once again thank the chief guest, Chairman AICT, for accepting our invitation to be the chief guest of this one. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thank you, sir. I believe that all the participants will get benefited by the series of lectures and competition in the coming days. So I, Dr. Sharath Tripathi, I'm hereby signing off from the inaugural session. Thank you.